What's up, you guys? My name is Tess. Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I am a licensed esthetician. As a lot of you may know, recently I actually got certified in lymphatic drainage, and yeah, here's my certificate. I took a class with my mentor, Michelle Fallon. She is one of the most incredible aesthetics teachers I've ever known, so I highly recommend her, and I will drop the link to the class in the description box. I've taken about 5 or 6 of Michelle's classes, and my outlook on aesthetics would not be the same. My knowledge base would not be the same if it weren't for her. So highly recommend. And this is going to be a brief overview of lymphatic drainage. If you want to know more, highly suggest taking her class. But I want to talk about lymphatic drainage because not only is it very highly requested by a lot of you viewers, I think it's very widely misunderstood. More often than not, I see it misused, and it's become so popular. People talk about it. A lot of popular influencers talk about doing lymphatic drainage. It's very popular on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. But I think a lot of people don't really understand what it is. So we're gonna dive deep into that. If you guys like this video, if it helps you out, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Okay, so let's just start with what is this whole lymphatic drainage process. So lymph is basically a seepage of the circulatory system. What it does is it works to detoxify the body. And by that, I mean it removes bacteria, harmful pathogens in the body, even parasites. So it's recently become even more widely acknowledged for not just beautification of the skin, but truly having internal benefits as well. Lymphatic drainage is commonly used to treat a few things, including acne, post-procedure skin, again. So for example, if a person has had a nose job, a surgeon might bring in an esthetician to do post-procedure lymphatic drainage to help reduce that edema or swelling in the face. This can also just be used by the common person if you've had too much wine or too much salt, for example. So it's really helpful in terms of combating puffiness and any kind of facial swelling, removing toxins and inflammation. So again, acne, or even just people who are wanting to receive the internal benefits for the body and remove something like a parasite or harmful bacteria in the body. Okay. Next, I want to get into some misconceptions about lymphatic drainage. A lot of times I see estheticians, and I'm sure I've even done this when I was first starting out and hadn't fully understood the process. So I see a lot of estheticians using devices or very firm pressure on the face and calling it a lymphatic drainage massage. So lymphatic drainage is a very slow, rhythmic, and a specific process. It's a stretch and release of the skin, and I will show you guys more of what it looks like a little later on in the video, but just giving you a little overview. It's a slow stretch and release without removing the hands from the face. It took people in the skincare industry a long time to wrap their head around lymphatic drainage and recognize it as truly effective. I'll tell you, it's very effective. You can look like you've lost 10 pounds in the face. In fact, I actually really need a little lymphatic drainage being in quarantine, consuming a lot of salt and chocolate and honestly crying. It took people a long time to understand this concept because I think in our society we think harder and firmer is better. A lot of times if you go get a massage, people ask for that really deep pressure because they think it's doing more for the body when it hurts a little bit. Lymphatic drainage is totally different, so you want to think the opposite. The more gentle and slow, as opposed to hard and fast, the more gentle and slow you work on the face, the more effective it is. You actually don't want to press hard because when you do that, you end up closing the capillary walls and lymph is not able to drain and release those toxins, which is what we want. The next point I want to make is that you always want to start at the base of the neck, at the terminus near the clavicle, because if you don't release this area first, it kind of prevents the rest of the fluid from draining. So it's like clearing this area creates a path for the lymph to actually drain. So you want to make sure you do that first. It is incorrect if you see somebody claiming to do lymphatic drainage but not clearing this neck area first. Lastly, you want to make sure you always are moving in the direction of the heart, and you want to do at least 3 to 4 passes to ensure that you're correctly draining the lymph. Just doing it once or twice won't be enough to fully clear the lymph. Before we get into the demo, just a few things I wanted to specify. You do not want to do lymphatic drainage with product on the skin, so just clean skin. I see a lot of people doing it with things like massage creams or oil, and that's actually not correct. So just clean skin, and you want to make sure to use your middle finger and your ring finger. So these 2 fingers right here, you're going to overall be working in little half moon shapes. And again, we're starting at the base of the neck, at the terminus. So we're going to work our way up the face, and we're going to repeat the process 3 to 4 times. So I'll go ahead and get into the demo. Okay guys, so I'm going to start by draining the terminus. So as you can see, I'm using my middle and index fingers. I'm using a very feather light pressure, so light you should not feel bone underneath, just the skin. And I'm starting above the clavicle at the terminus, and I'm moving in the direction of the heart. So for the most part, I'm going to be doing little half moon shapes. I know it's so subtle, and with the angle it's really hard to see, but I just want you guys to get a general idea of the motion. It's just almost like a little stretch and release of the skin without taking your fingers off of the pressure point. So lymphatic drainage is a very specific, gentle, and slow technique. You need the right pressure, direction, rhythm, and sequence for it to be effective. So I'm moving up the face. As you can see, I've been working up the face, starting at the neck. It's very important you clear the neck first. Those are like, basically you can think of it as a floodgate. You have to release that area first so that the rest of the lymph can properly drain. And you can see I am working my way up from the neck to the mouth to just above the nose in this area that holds a lot of sinus pressure and fluid. Now I'm working inward. This is one of the only times you're going to work inward on the face, and I'm just using my middle finger for this part. So as you can see, doing the little half moon shape, and now I'm going to place my fingers just outside the ear. Again, doing my little stretch and release. And you're gonna repeat each of these movements about 3 to 4 times. I'm just showing you a overview of the entire face so you guys can see what it looks like. Again, this is not intended to allow you to perform lymphatic drainage on anyone else because it is such a specific process. I highly recommend taking a course and getting certified, but I want you guys to see what it looks like because I do see lymphatic drainage referred to improperly a lot of times, especially with social media, with it gaining popularity. A lot of people refer to very strong, firm massage as lymphatic drainage when in actuality, if you are pressing too hard, you will actually close the capillary walls and you will be unable to release the lymph, which is what we want. When this is done properly, you can significantly help reduce swelling. You can help relieve a lot of toxins that cause acne. So it can be very, very beneficial for your client. You can see I'm moving up to the eyebrow area, and now I am doing sort of a pinching motion starting at the tail end and just lightly stretching and releasing outward so that the lymph can flow in the direction of the heart. And I'm slowly moving inward to 3 different points of the eyebrow. Then this is where you're sort of closing the whole process off. You're going back to just under the eye doing your little half moons under the eye area. And you're gonna actually do that again, moving a little bit inward. I didn't show it here because this is just, again, a little overview. Now I'm kind of closing off by tapping my head or tapping your client's head, and you're gonna finish by clearing everything you've done with this little brushing method along the jawline and the neck, and that is it. Okay guys, so that is the little demonstration. I know the movements are really subtle. This isn't intended to, you know, properly train you to go out and do lymphatic drainage. That's not really my intention. I kind of just want you guys to see the general idea of it and to understand what a specific, again, slow and rhythmic process it is, and maybe recognize how a certain massage method is not true lymphatic drainage. I think that is kind of just what I want you guys to take away from this video, that it is a true, very specific technique you can apply to facials. You will want to tell your client to drink a lot of water after this type of facial, maybe a talking point to consume less salt, alcohol, sugar, things that are hygroscopic and hold onto water and fluid, because this type of facial, it can honestly make it look like somebody lost 10 pounds, really make them snatch, which is really uplifting for a client. You can do this as an add-on. You could do this as the entire facial if you got certified and really understood the technique. But I hope you just liked this kind of overview and it helped to clarify what true lymphatic drainage is, because I think it's such a beautiful, again, specific process that is not understood properly. So I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you did in the comments. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.